Okay. I was wondering when somebody was going to mention my hat. I just saw it online. I thought it was cute. I bought it. I mean, honestly, it's the kind of thing that my daughter would make fun of me for, but I don't know. I love a bucket hat. Hey everybody, it's me, Jill, and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of New York City, Season 12, Episode 3. Don't Mention It. Quick shout out to Joe McKenzie for inspiring me to do that opening bit. And yes, that was a dirty bucket I put on my head. So, you're welcome, everyone. Apparently, I will do almost anything for a laugh. All right, let's get started with episode 3. Okay, so we are still in the Hamptons, and all the ladies are getting ready for an outing that Ramona has planned. In her confessional, she said, it'll be nice just to have everybody out, outside looking at the grapes and the wine trees. Wine trees. Oh, God. Oh. You guys, I'm laughing already, and I'm even skipping parts. Like, I'm skipping the part where Sonja had eyelash glue on her forehead. Like, that's how good this show is. I have to skip gems like that. As they're all piling in the car, Leah asked, where's LuAnn? And she goes, oh, that's right, she's at the chiropractor. And Dorinda goes, yeah, chiropractor, wink, wink. Yeah, she's out on her boat somewhere. So apparently, LuAnn had a rough first night in the lower level. She came up in the morning and she's like, Ramona, you've got a spider problem. Yeah, I'm brushing my teeth and the itsy bitsy spider went down the water spout. Side note, I am on day 12 of the lower level in my house. So cry me a river, LuAnn. I didn't even know it snowed until a day after it snowed. That's what life in the lower level is like for me. All right, so when all the ladies get there, they sit down and they're taking their wine orders. And Leah orders a Merlot. And Dorinda's like, oh, because she thought she didn't drink. And she goes, I'm not an alcoholic. I stopped drinking a long, long time ago because I didn't like what it was doing to my life. But 6 months ago, I started drinking again, and I just pick and choose when I want to. And today, I'm choosing to have a drink. Okay, Ramona gets a text from LuAnn. Sorry, girls, I can't make it. My neck cracked. I still have a headache. While Ramona's reading that, Dorinda's going, that's because she's on her boat. Zoom, zoom, zoom. She's not coming back. And then Ramona's like, okay, I told her to just meet us later. Leah's like, well, I mean, it is a winery. And then in her confessional, she's like, in what world do you invite your friend who's a recovering alcoholic to a winery with you? You know what? In this world, Leah. That's the short answer. Because those ladies have never stopped drinking or changed plans or anything for LuAnn. And LuAnn always went along with it. And I mean, I don't know what to say about that. It is probably best that she's sitting this one out. Okay, guys, Ramona said, all right, what I want us all to do is go around one by one and tell us something about yourself that makes you vulnerable. And she said, I'll start. So she starts talking about how when she was 15, she'd be in her room listening to her music, Aqualung, Jethro Tull, as she revealed to us last season. And she didn't know where her life was going. She'd look at the clouds. I mean, she's actually being very poetic. And then she said, just the other week, I'm driving home from the Hamptons and I was right back there again. Like it just hit me. And I thought to myself, where are you going? I don't know where I'm going with my life again. And I just needed my mom. I'm like, Mommy, Mommy, help me. Okay, you guys, that touched me. I might be easily fooled or something, but I don't know. Sonja goes, "Oh God, Ramona, I didn't realize you were that self-actualized." There really was something just kind of real and vulnerable about that. I was surprised. Leah's in tears. Well, now it's Tinsley's turn. And she's like, imagine feeling that same way. You don't know where you're going to go with your life. You also don't have a kid. At least you have a kid. I mean, that's how I'm feeling right now. I don't know where I'm going with my life. And I don't even have a kid. Sonja leans over to Leah and she goes, that's her biggest fear. Tinsley goes on to say, all of you guys have that. I mean, you've all checked that box off. And they're all like, yeah, okay, that's not a box to check. Leah's like, yeah, I mean, it's much deeper than that. Listen, I don't think Tinsley would be a bad mother. She's very sweet and nurturing to her doggies, but is she mature enough? I'm not sure. Honestly, I wonder if it would help with her relationship with Dale. You know, like it would help her to just finally grow up, to become a mother of her own. I don't know. Okay, so Dorinda tells Tinsley that I was watching the Discovery Channel last night. Hear me out. They were talking about icebergs, and they were saying how, as big and beautiful as the iceberg can be, on the surface, that 90% of it is underwater. And that's just what I think about you, Tinsley. I feel like we only see the 10%. And there's so much more to you. I'm not just trying to be nosy. I want to get to know you. So then I think Sonja said, yeah, I didn't even know you were seeing a new guy. And Ramona said, yeah, I didn't know about the new boyfriend. So she starts to tell them about the new guy, Bruce, and that he's twice divorced. He's got 3 children. And she didn't...
And I didn't even know how I could fit in with this family dynamic or with his children. But then I just did. I surprised myself at how good I was. I just asked the kids to sit, and I tossed them a few treats and gave them a little chuck behind the ear. And I was surprised at how motherly I was.
Actually, though, things are not perfect with Bruce. And did she say they all went away together? Like ex-wives, kids, and everybody? And her? And they were like in one big house. And she's like, I'm just not used to being like one of so many people. And then Leah said, he doesn't know what he's got in you. And he takes advantage of you. So... then we get a little flashback to Leah and Tinsley in the car, maybe on the way up. I'm not sure. Side note, check out this Uber driver. Her eyeliner game is strong. I mean, she's like perfected that wing. So anyway, it sounds like Tinsley doesn't get very much alone time with Bruce. It's always, every time she sees him, it's always when he's with his whole family, all his kids and everything. So she's like, I'm getting a little, I'm just a little tired of being like 6th on the totem pole. Leah's like done with him. She said, he's just a boy. And of course, Sonja goes, what is he a good lover? Is that what you mean? And Leah's like, no, he's a boy. That's not a good thing. And in her confessional, she goes, how does she not know what that is? Like, it doesn't even sound good. Are you kidding? Of course that sounds good to Sonja. Well, now it's Leah's turn. We already know her life was colorful. So she said, well, after I graduated high school, I went to rehab for 3 months because I was having some issues. And then when I got out of rehab, my parents came and picked me up and told me, you're not coming home. But we found you a halfway house that's run by nuns, and that's where you're going to go. So as bad as that sounds, and all the ladies are shocked, Leah said, I was I was bad. I gave my parents a really hard time. I was a problem. And they just said, listen, you can't live in our house because you're a horrible influence on your sister and brother. We cannot have you here. So she said, I remember they drove her upstate. That's where this halfway house was. And she said it was just like this dusty road. And she said, I got out and I saw like the dust all around. And I just remember looking down at my feet thinking, what has happened to my life? What is happening here? And she said she has since come to recognize that that was her mother saving her life. She talked about this a little bit with Ramona before, where she said she thinks that's where she got the perseverance to start her own business and get to where she is today. Okay, now it's Dorinda's turn. And please don't think I'm being cold or callous. But what happens next is very, very strange, and it made me laugh. Dorinda said, well, okay, if it's my turn, hand me another napkin, because I've been crying for like a month now. I had to give a secret to the world. And somebody said, what's the secret? And she said, I'm scared every day. Okay, I'm not laughing at that. What happens next is that is all Ramona needs to hear for Ramona to go, get up out of her seat, come around the table behind Dorinda, embrace her from behind, and start slowly rocking her while crying. Oh my God, baby, don't be scared. Don't be scared, baby. Don't be scared. What was that? I think even Dorinda was like, what? Are you okay? It was weird. I mean, Leah, sitting right next to her, said, what are you scared about every day? Which, I mean, I'm sorry, but that seems like a normal question. I mean, maybe it was the vulnerability. Maybe Ramona just felt like Dorinda had a breakthrough or something. I will tell you who was not affected by that, Tinsley or Sonja. Sonja just takes another sip of her wine. Tinsley's just looking on. I mean, to be fair, those are more normal reactions. Like, you're now just waiting for the person to explain why they're afraid every day. But not Ramona. She was all in. She had her at afraid. Okay, it's Sonja's turn. I don't even know if I can recap this because there's no sort of cohesive story that you can, follow a common thread through. She's rambling on and on. The editing is showing the passage of time, where one scene kind of melds into the next and she's still talking. She's talking about Venetian plaster and then then you just try to catch some dick along the way and it's good. And then it's back to something about a onesie and I'm not following it. But, she also is wondering, what am I doing with my life? That seems to be kind of the underlying commonality between all the women. Okay, so that part's done. And Ramona said, all right, you guys go back to the house because I'm going to go and talk to my friend and see about the party tonight. Joe Farrell is a Hamptons developer, very wealthy man who is a friend of Ramona's, and Donald Trump. And we see this like page 6 headline that says Hamptons developer hosting Trump fundraiser in famed mansion. I'm assuming that is the mansion that Ramona is having the party that night. Oh yes, she says she's got a fabulous cocktail party planned for all my friends at Joe Farrell's house in Bridgehampton. It's 31,000 square feet. Their mouths are gonna drop. Okay, now back at the house, Tinsley and Leah are talking about what they're going to wear to the party and everything. And Tinsley said, I don't even know, are we just going to go to the guy's house? Or, I don't know. It's weird because, this is like that short guy that I went out with. So then we find out that Tinsley had a date with him, and it was a very bad date, I guess. He took her to a basketball game, but didn't take her out to eat or anything like that. She wasn't into him too much because it was then that she found out that he knew Ramona. He also had gone out on a date with Bethany. So he kind of housewife hops. LuAnn is back. I'm so glad I got my neck fixed, because between the smell and the spiders down there, I did not sleep very well. Upstairs, Ramona goes into Dorinda's room, and Dorinda asked her, so how did it go checking out the venue? Ramona goes, actually, I went out on a date. Dorinda's like, I've never known anyone that could slip in and out of dates as easily as Ramona. She really does fit them in tiny little time slots that she has free. Okay, LuAnn has come up to do her makeup with the ladies because I don't want to miss a moment of bonding with the girls. Which she should. She's way far away from everybody else, and they're all chatting and having a good time. So anyway, she's up there, and then they start picking on what she's wearing. I'm not saying they don't have a right to. She is wearing that Laura Ashley dress, and she has a sweater over it. It's not the best. Ramona is mortified. Different areas have different styles. And that dress does not belong in the Hamptons. That dress belongs in Nantucket. Or maybe Atlanta, Georgia. Sonja's being crazy, and in LuAnn's confessional, she said, I'm so glad I didn't go to that lunch. Sonja's acting like she's been overserved, and we haven't even gotten to the cocktail party yet. They're in 2 cars heading to Joe Farrell's house. Dorinda and Ramona are in one car. The other 4 are in the other. Sonja's drunk. Sonja's kind of trashing Ramona a little bit, saying she needs to be knocked down a peg, and the others are kind of just giving each other side eye about that. And in the car with Ramona and Dorinda, Ramona is pointing out, oh, I know them, and see that house right there? I know him. That's the guy that invented the lights on sneakers. It's just, I don't know why that makes me laugh. I don't know. Maybe it's the way she put it. It's not like she said, he's the guy that came up with the sneakers that light up. No, he invented the lights on sneakers. Well, in the other car, this is just kind of a continuation of the rambling that Sonja was doing during that wine tasting. She is just going on and on about all of these people and Ramona, and, they're just fillers. They're just like party fillers. They're not her near and dear. And the 2 in the back, Leah and Tinsley, are not saying anything. Tinsley's on her phone, I think. And LuAnn's just giving a lot of It is just a monologue the whole way there. Yeah, she's pretty plastered. In Sonja's confessional, she said, this is just going to be another fancy party with fancy people. Who cares? Sometimes I think my girl Ramona forgets what's important in life. It's just going to be a boring party with a bunch of small talk. So Dorinda and Ramona get there first, and Ramona's gushing over the whole place. We don't see Joe Farrell yet. Someone named David, who's a designer. I don't know if he designed that house. I don't know who he is, but he answers the door. They say hello, and she introduces him to Dorinda. And then she's gushing over this mirror. Oh, I love a standing mirror. And this mirror is about the size of my bedroom, like square footage wise. Then the other ladies arrive, and Sonja goes, ooh, the house is fancy. And LuAnn goes, Sonja, it's for sale. And she goes, oh, it is? No wonder we were invited. So they're waiting in the car quite a while, I guess, for someone to come out and get them. And Sonja goes, what are they doing, checking our records? And LuAnn goes, do you have your ID on you, Sonja? And then Tinsley goes, oh, wait, all 4 of us. And then she and Sonja at the same time go, all 4 of us have mugshots. And then we get to see their mugshots. Side note, look closely at Sonja's mugshot. That looks like art. There's just something so beautiful about that to me. The only one there I'm excusing, though, is Leah, because she was a kid at the time. Guys, I'm sorry, LuAnn is really off her fashion game tonight. Look at those boots she's wearing with that dress. It's like a light, summery dress and booties. Wouldn't that dress have been much better with a sandal? And she's the one that actually has a home not far away. Okay, well, the girls are not impressed by this party at all. Leah's like, oh God, this is like Eyes Wide Shut stuff here. They're going to be taking me to a back room and making me their bitch. Sonja wants gin, but they don't have it. And she's like, this is a 30,000 square foot house and you don't have gin? Like somewhere in this house there should be gin. Although she's not wrong, is she? You're having a party in this huge mansion. I don't know. Then Sonja or somebody said that this is only one of his houses. And I'm starting to wonder if Joe Farrell's even going to be there. Maybe he's just letting Ramona borrow his house to have a party in. I don't know. Okay, Tinsley and, well, Sonja mostly, are getting on Ramona for being so formal, the way she's introducing the ladies to the other guests. I guess their point is, well, Tinsley's point was, Sonja has actually lived that life before. The one that Ramona is pretending to live right now, rubbing elbows with socialites and stuff. But I also think you don't have to be loud and crazy and crass with everybody. And that maybe there's a time and a place for it. I don't know. I think it's okay. They're even making fun of her pashmina. Like, that's so fancy. It's weird. This party is very strange. Oh, and by the way, Joe Farrell is there. Sonja is berating Ramona for acting all high and mighty. And she's like, so what? You're in a $30 million home. And she goes, 39.9. Sonja, all right, so just act like you're in your $7 million home, okay? Ramona, I'm going to have it appraised at 8.5. Then Ramona sees Leah and she goes, are you chewing gum? You can't do that. And Leah goes, no. Leah's confessional. I swallowed the gum. Then she tells Tinsley, let's go outside. I'm going to drown myself in the pool. And she's like, it is like burning in my throat right now because I swallowed my gum. She scared me with those eyes. Yes, Leah, get used to the Ramona eyes. They will come at you when you least expect it. Okay, this party really is as dull as everybody feared it would be. Joe, yeah. Leah's like, a guy can be short and ugly, but if he has money, girls are fawning all over him, and that is just the world we live in. I mean, that was a little bit of a rough assessment of what Joe Farrell looks like, but, not super far off. And so now he's going to take the ladies on a tour of the home. LuAnn, I should say, is struggling because everybody's drinking. And she said, I thought I had Leah, but now that she's drinking, I just lost my sober companion. All right, well, you didn't have one last year, and you managed to maintain your sobriety. Well, ish. But I get it. Okay, so downstairs is like a game room and a bowling alley. And then David, the designer, I still don't know who he is. I thought maybe he was Joe's lover. Because he was acting as like host in a way. But that doesn't make sense because apparently Joe has dated all the ladies, so... Anyway, David tells LuAnn and Dorinda that the others are downstairs touring the house. Talk about getting schmancy. Dorinda thinks it's tacky to tour somebody's house. I don't know. It's a very American thing. It's not very European. And I was married to a British man, and like that, we would just never do something like that. I'm sorry. It's just they wouldn't take you down to the basement and every bathroom and loo in the house. Well, I didn't see them go to every room in the house, number one. Number two, who doesn't love a good tour? I love seeing other people's homes. And three, it wasn't like you went down to someone's cellar. There's a whole bowling alley down here. Who wouldn't like that? I mean, now the party has some potential to actually be a little bit fun. I should also point out that Ramona's got her claws in Joe. She's super possessive of him. Even though Sonja told him he looked hot with his Mick Jagger pants, and he just looked much hotter now that she saw he's got a bowling alley in his house. By the way, Mick Jagger pants? Not seeing it. Okay, so while Ramona is off oohing and eyeing over the fact that he's got a half pipe in his house for the kids for when it's raining outside and a DJ booth. Oh, a DJ booth. Oh, a half pipe? Do you even know what that is, Ramona? She even told him at one point that he could keep her prisoner in the area where the hot tub and the massage table was. While that's happening, the ladies in the bowling alley are talking to Ramona's friend Elise. Now, I remember that name from the first couple episodes, so she's been in this a couple of times now. Apparently, she was or is married to a hedge fund guy, so she's got a boatload of money and a head for business, I guess. Sonja is talking to her. I mean, barely talking without slurring. Let's be honest, she's slurring. She asked this Elise about her clothes. Oh, I bet you shop all the time. And Elise said, believe it or not, I'm not a huge shopper. Investments, yes, but clothing, no. So Sonja said, you're smart. I like you. When I was married to my husband, he would force me to buy clothes, and I would get so embarrassed. And Elise goes, you were his accessory. LuAnn's head shoots up. Leah's like, Tinsley looks like she's trying to be anywhere but there. Sonja is so loud right now. She's like, what? Why would you say that to me? Take it back. We were partners. And Elise is like, okay. So Ramona and Joe are coming back from wherever they were. They can hear Sonja. Everyone can hear Sonja. And Ramona's like, oh, that's Sonja. She's had a few drinks too many. Meanwhile, Sonja, I was never a trophy wife. She gets like this far from Elise's face. Take that back. Then she takes her head and she goes, take it back, and kisses her on the cheek. And Elise is like, I take it back. I bet you do. Then she screams, she was a trophy wife, pointing at Tinsley. Now Tinsley's pissed. To Topper? My high school sweetheart? What are you talking about? Sonja. Like, oh yeah, I forgot you guys were the same age. Tinsley's like, stop drinking. She goes upstairs, and in her confessional, she goes, I met Topper in boarding school, and he's my same age. Sonja met her husband when she was a cocktail waitress, and he was 100. That's the definition of a trophy wife. He was 100. Anyway, she's still screaming, I'm not arm candy. I don't shave my pussy. Elise was very offended by that, and she's like, stop. Dorinda's trying to get her to be quiet. But in Dorinda's confessional, she said, Sonja is drunk. But I don't think Elise should be talking about being anyone's accessory. It's no one's business to pass judgment on who and what role we play in our husband or partner's life. Well, now LuAnn and Leah are sitting down having a chat. And LuAnn said, if you would have told me a year ago I'd be spending the weekend at Ramona's house, I never would have believed it. But here I am. I left my beautiful home to stay in her basement that smells like dog piss and has spiders. Oh, she also says there's a fridge down there too with lots to drink in it. Believe me, I checked. Yeah, at the very least, that's pretty insensitive. I'm assuming she means alcohol, right? Sonja is making a fool out of herself in front of everybody. I can't tell if these people, they probably have never seen Housewives, now that I think about it. They don't seem like the type to watch it. Sonja's coming on to this poor little boy in a pink sweater. She said, show me your birth certificate and we're good to go. Yeah, it's rough. Then as they're getting her out of there and it's time to leave, she sees another guy and she's like, belly to belly. She's like, what, who are you? And he goes, it doesn't matter. And then he goes, you're beautiful. And she goes, I'm beautiful. And then he turns around and he makes this face at the camera like he's scared. I don't know what's going on. Well, the housewives have left the party like a tornado exiting the front door. It was a lot. And now it's the next morning, 9:56 a.m., and Dorinda knocks on Ramona's door, and she goes, "Ramona, can I come in?" And she goes, "Yeah, we have a problem." And she goes, "What's the problem?" LuAnn has left, and she's written a really out-of-control text. She goes, "Do you want me to read it to you?" And Ramona goes, "Sure. Read it very slow and soft." So she sits down. She goes, "I was CC'd on it. I don't know why I was CC'd on it." So she starts reading it. "Thank you for your hospitality, Ramona." Wait, I should do it in LuAnn's voice because LuAnn wrote it.
"Thank you for your hospitality, Ramona. This is not the fish room part 2. I live in a town you drive to every day because it's the best and I have an amazing home. I come to you and what do I get? Share the bathroom with someone I don't know or the basement, filled with spiders and the smell of dog piss." "I'm shocked that I'm always the lowest on the totem pole. Good night from the lower level."
That was good. That was very good. I'm going to have to do that with the voice modulation, you guys. Okay, so, Ramona calls her back, and Dorinda's like, she's not going to answer. And it went to her voicemail. But Dorinda, I hate when people do this. When you're on a call or you're leaving a message for someone and the other person is like coaching you and you don't know what they're saying and you're just trying to think on your feet and stuff. Dorinda wanted her to be careful and keep it short. I think what Ramona did was fine. She said, "I'm sorry you felt that way. I didn't mean to make you feel isolated. I'm sorry that you did. This was supposed to be a bonding moment. I was being too superficial. And the things that matter most is our friendship and us being together, as friends, all of us. So please come back. I hope you come back." So now Sonja wakes up in the morning and she's like, "I don't know what happened last night. I think we had a great time." Oh, okay. Maybe LuAnn CC'd all of the ladies because Sonja is reading it now and I like her rendition better than mine. "Oh, you proclaim you love me?" Dorinda didn't read that part. But this is Sonja. "You proclaim you love me, but now I know that's not true. Good night from the lower level." Okay, that was a good dramatic read. So then Sonja leads a group downstairs. "Let's go down to the basement. I want to see the dog piss and the spiders." Now all the ladies are downstairs. They all think it's great down there. Now they're all sitting on the cushy couch, and Ramona goes, "Oh, wait, shh, be quiet. It's Lou." And she puts her on speaker and she goes, "Hello, Lou." And then we get "to be continued." Yeah. I don't know what to say, guys. I am filming this from the lower level. So I am all about the lower level life right now. So I know what it's like. And yes, there are some drawbacks. But basically, LuAnn should just probably have gotten over herself. All right. That's it for me. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to leave a comment down below. What do you guys think of the lower level? I will be back next week for the next recap of The Real Housewives of New York City. I'll see you then. Bye.